All right, Tuesday the 10th, we have our cardio hit timer. So you are going to go to your timers page, which is on the back of your workout schedule, and pick if you want advanced or normal timer. We have squat hold with side crunches, plank toe touches, stationary skaters, and heel taps. Squat hold with alternating side crunches. Plank toe touches. Stationary skaters. And heel taps. Okay, so to start we have squat hold with alternating side crunches. So this is exactly what it sounds like, and I didn't know what else to call it, which is why it's so long. So you're going to get in almost more of a sumo squat type stance, a wide squat, and you're gonna squat down, okay? Now the reason that it's so wide is because you're gonna be doing side crunches. So if you're really close together, you just don't get, it feels more awkward and you don't get as good range of motion. If you're wider and you kind of think about touching your elbow to your knee, I think it just works kind of better that way. So I put my hands up behind my head, nice and loose, and I crunch down, knee to elbow, return to middle. Crunch, 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 and you just keep going side to side. So this one is awesome because it's kind of working everything. Just by holding your arms up over your head, you're working your arms. When you crunch, you're working your core, and because you're in that static squat hold, you're working your legs. So this one might actually be harder than you think when you're doing it to a timer, because you're gonna feel your legs burn before anything else, okay? Next, we have our plank toe touches. So, I feel like for some reason I have explained this before. Okay, so we did do these in week 1, but I called them plank toe taps. They're the same thing. Sometimes because I make these up, you have to remember. At first I was thinking maybe laying on your back, toe tapping, but it says plank. So they're the same thing. I just called them plank toe taps in week 1, and now in this week I'm calling them plank toe touches. So they're the same thing. If you didn't do that workout, you're in high plank position and you're going to pike up your butt. So you're going to fold up and you're going to touch opposite hand to opposite toe, back to high plank, touch, return, touch, return, touch, okay? So you're just touching opposite hand to opposite foot. Always make sure you return to hit that high plank, so make sure your butt is flat, and then pike back up, okay? You can't do that off of a height, but you could do if that is just too much for you, especially because it's on the timer. So you're only gonna obviously rest when the timer tells you to rest. You can start on your back, put your feet up and apart, put your hands out by your side, and then just reach up, opposite hand, opposite toe, opposite, opposite. Okay, so that would be your modification. And again, sorry if it's confusing. Sometimes I notice that I do call certain things by a few different names because I don't know what they're actually called. I just make it up. So sometimes I forget to use the same made up name each time. But that's what that is. And then stationary skaters. So I think we might have talked about our big skaters in week 1, or if you've been with me before, we do big skaters a lot. These are stationary skaters. So this looks like this. So what you're doing is you're just swapping the middle foot, okay? So this one comes out, swap middle, that one goes out. Swap, swap, swap. You don't necessarily have to do the hand touching thing. I find it just helps with the motion better. I just feel like it's a little bit more comfortable. I feel like I know that I'm low enough because I'm touching the ground. So look at my back. My back is not round. If you can see my ponytail's in the way. My back is not rounded. I'm making sure that I'm bending low enough and I'm keeping my butt up and back. That's always going to give you a flat back, okay? So I'm not doing this I'm not reaching down, I'm not rounded shoulder. I'm sitting nice and low, butt up and back to give you that straight back. And I'm touching, 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 okay? So really, your modification for that would be just going slower. So instead of switch, 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 more of a step instead of that switch, okay? And heel taps. So this is on your back. Your feet are gonna go out in front of you and then open up a little bit. So the trick to this one is to figure out what ratio you need between your heels and your hands. So the point of this one is to go side to side and touch your heels with your fingers. But if you don't have the right ratio, it's gonna be way too easy. So if I just did it like this, I can already touch without bending. So that's gonna defeat the purpose. So I know I need to move my feet farther away. That's harder. Or your option is to move your feet closer together. Okay, so closer together, farther away is gonna make it harder. Wider apart, heels closer to your body is gonna make it easier. So depending on how long your legs are, depending on how long your arms are, you're gonna have to figure out which ratio feels best. So if you start doing it and you're like, oh, I don't feel anything, put your feet farther away and or closer together, okay? And that is your Tuesday.